Daily Download.
A special tour for tourists in Singapore, our weekly look at what's new at the movies, and Pluto loses it. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Daily Download. Today we start in Singapore, renowned for its obsessively clean streets, its gum-chewing ban, its guided tours of Singaporean prostitutes. Yes, gum chewing in Singapore is illegal, but prostitution isn't, and tourists can now take a guided tour of the city-state's red light district, not for the sex per se, but for, well, let's let this tour official explain.
We saw it as an opportunity to understand and appreciate, not in a sleazy way, but in a way where, you can understand the society.
Understand the society? Okay, I'm just wondering how they get their hookers to stop chewing gum. So, say you're married and you're fighting over which tour to take in Singapore. A recent study says it's not what married people fight about, but how they fight that can affect their health. A recent study asked nearly 4,000 men and women if, when they fight with a spouse, did they hold stuff in or let it all hang out. With men, it made no difference, but women who didn't speak their minds were 4 times as likely to die during the 10-year study period as women who let their husbands have it. And I'm here to tell you this is true. Here's a picture of my wife. She's never been sick a day in her life. And we're not going to Singapore either. Now to the wonderful world of Disney, that idyllic fantasy land for little wide-eyed innocents. Unless, of course, one of them happens to tick off Pluto. Seen here at Disneyland in California, going after a wee one. No one knows why. Mama steps in, wants to know what in the name of Mickey Mouse is going on. Pluto falls down, and all of a sudden the bipedal dog remembers, woohoo, he needs this job. Some say the kid had kicked Pluto in the planets, but that's not confirmed. Pluto was fired. Pluto and Goofy were last seen on a flight to Singapore. All right, time now for a look at what, if anything good, is coming to a movie screen near you. We start with I'm Not There in limited release. Director Todd Haynes gets a little unconventional in this film about the life of Bob Dylan. 6 different actors play the cultural icon, including, yes, Cate Blanchett.
You're kidding me, Rick. I can't watch this.
Critics so far split on this. Some really like it and some really don't. But if you're a Dylan fan, you will see this. I know you will. Critics' consensus, 3 out of 5 stars. Now on to The Heartbreak Kid, Ben Stiller in this Farrelly Brothers romp about a guy that realizes on his honeymoon that he's married the wrong woman, and I'm telling you, the really wrong woman.
You snorted.
That's how I got the deviated septum.
The nightmare honeymoon gets a little better when our man meets the right woman. We can only guess if he successfully swaps out the chicks. I'm guessing he does. Critics' consensus, 2.5 stars. And finally, we look at the movie Michael Clayton. George Clooney is what is known as a fixer in a high-powered New York law firm. In other words, he does the firm's dirty work. Meanwhile, a colleague gets the gilts while defending a sleazy corporation in a class-action lawsuit, so he sabotages the case. The firm wants George to fix it. Another classic tale of good versus evil, and don't fear, George is good, and apparently so is this movie. Critics, by and large, love it and give it 4 out of 5 stars. Now, before we close, we have some sad news about an icon of our childhood. It seems that Mr. Potato Head, yes, that Mr. Potato Head, has a bit of a drug problem. Mr. Head was caught with almost 300 grams of ecstasy pills in his head. He was nabbed by Australian police in a Sydney post office after he apparently crawled into a package that originated from Ireland. Maximum penalty for importing drugs into Australia is life in prison. All right, hate to end on such a sad note, but that's your download fix for now. And by the way, for all the news all the time, go to our website, voanews.com. Thanks for clicking on, and we'll see you later.